9.1 Giant Leaps. Vocabulary. History. 1. A. Work in pairs. What do you think are the 3 most important events in history? Which important developments are shown in the photos? Left to right, a civil rights march in the USA in the 60s, the invention of the airplane, the Industrial Revolution, the discovery of DNA/genetics, the invention of the wheel. Vocabulary. History. B. Read the comments below. Are any of your ideas mentioned? A lot of revolutions have been important. For example, the Industrial Revolution was a great turning point in history. The development of the internet, the spread of the net has been so fast. For me, the greatest advances in history have been about social justice. There have been some really important movements, such as the Civil Rights Movement. These have made the world a better place. I'd choose the invention of the wheel. It's the foundation of most transport and machines. Maybe the discovery of fire. I think it was the most important thing in human beings' progress. C. Put the words in bold above in the definitions below. 1. A moment of great change. Revolution. Turning point. 2. When someone makes or finds something new. Development. Invention. Discovery. 3. Something getting better. Advance. Progress. 4. When a group of people work to achieve an aim, for example, human rights. Movement. 5. The basic idea behind something. Foundation. 6. When something increases and affects more people. Spread.
Unit 9. History. Recording 1. 1.
Revolution. Turning point.
2.
Development. Invention. Discovery.
3.
Advance. Progress.
4.
Movement.
5.
Foundation.
6.
Spread.
D and 9.1 Word stress. Listen to the answers to exercise 1C. Circle the stressed syllable on each word. Listen again and repeat. 1. Revolution. Turning point. 2. Development. Invention. Discovery. 3. Advance. Progress. 4. Movement. 5. Foundation. 6. Spread. E. Complete sentences 1 to 5 in any way you choose. Compare with other students. 1. The biggest turning point in my country's history was... 2. A discovery that changed my life is... 3. My favorite invention is... 4. One thing I hope won't spread is... 5. My country has made progress in... Page 156, Vocabulary Bank. Vocabulary Bank. Lesson 9.1, History. 1. Use one word from each row in the table to complete sentences 1 through 12. 1. 1066 is the date of the Norman invasion of Britain. 2. Edward Gibbon was a great historian. He wrote The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. 3. India was a colony of Great Britain until 1947. 4. South Africa's first democratic elections, in which black people could vote, took place in 1994. 5. In the 18th and 19th centuries, William Wilberforce led a movement to liberate slaves. 6. Alexander Fleming is known for his discovery of penicillin. 7. Fidel Castro was the leader of the Cuban Revolution of 1959. 8. The Kennedys and the Bush family are known for their involvement in American politics. 9. The World Bank lends money to developing countries, particularly in Asia and Africa. 10. In 1901, William Röntgen won the Nobel Prize in Physics for his invention of the X-ray. 11. Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft. 12. Angola gained its independence from Portugal in 1975. 2a. Read the introduction to an article from BBC History magazine. What alternative moments do you think the historians will choose? Giant Leaps for Mankind looks at why we should be celebrating the moon landing of July 1969 and asks 12 historians to nominate alternative moments in the past that they consider to be giant leaps for mankind. 2b. Student A, read the texts on page 105 and make notes using the prompts below. Student B, turn to page 162. What was the development? Where did it take place? When did it happen? Why was it important? (3a) Work in pairs. Cover your texts. Look at the notes you made in 2b. Take turns to tell each other what you read. As you listen, make more notes. 3b. Work in pairs and answer the questions. 1. Which two books helped the spread of new developments? Two world systems and doctrinal. Which advances help us to study things? Galileo's discoveries about the universe and de Villedieu's methods of teaching. 3. Which developments happened mainly because of one person? Which happened because of many people? The developments in our understanding of the universe and in teaching methods were because of one person. The invention of the steam engine and the development in humans learning to eat meat were because of many people. Which of the 4 big moments did you know about? Which do you think are the 2 most important? Galileo explores the heavens. When Galileo became the first person to look at the sky through a telescope, it changed our view of the universe. His discoveries about the sun, moon, and other planets disagreed with older theories because he claimed that the Earth revolved around the sun and was not the center of the universe. He then wrote a book, Two World Systems, published in Italy in 1630, which led to his problems with the Roman Catholic Church, which insisted on the older theory. At his trial, Galileo was found guilty of heresy, anti-religious beliefs. It was only in the 20th century that the Vatican finally agreed with him. If Galileo hadn't defended his theories, he would have been a free man, but we wouldn't have understood the science of our universe. Grammar. Hypothetical conditional past. 4a. Read the sentences below. Do they describe an imaginary situation in the past or an imaginary situation in the present? 1. If he had not written Doctrinale, education would have remained the same. 2. If Galileo hadn't defended his theories, he would have been a free man. The sentences describe an imaginary situation in the past. B. Look at the sentence patterns and find one other example in the texts. Life would have been totally different if we hadn't invented it. If plus subject, had not plus past participle, would not have plus past participle. If we had invented the wheel, life would have been easier. If we hadn't discovered fire, man's progress would have been slower. C. Read 2 more sentences from the article. How is the grammatical structure different from the sentences in exercise 4a? 1. We wouldn't have become the most imaginative of the animals if we had continued eating only plants. 2. Life would have been different if we hadn't invented the steam engine. The if clause and the would clause have changed places. The if clause and the would clause changed places. The sentences begin with the would clause. No comma is used when the clauses are in this order. Page 144, Language Bank. 9. 9.1, Language Bank. Grammar. Hypothetical conditional past. If clause. If plus had plus past participle. If I had seen my friend. Would clause. Would have plus past participle. I would have spoken to her. Use the hypothetical conditional past to talk about hypothetical or imaginary situations in the past. It describes an unreal or impossible situation. E.g., real situation, I woke up late. Hypothetical situation, if I had heard my alarm clock, I wouldn't have woken up late. I didn't hear my alarm clock, I woke up late. We can start sentences and questions with the if or would clause. They wouldn't have been late if they had caught the bus. If they had caught the bus, they wouldn't have been late. What would you have done if I hadn't called? If I hadn't called, what would you have done? Practice 9.1. A. Match 1 to 8 with A through H to make sentences. 1. If we had arrived earlier, D. We wouldn't have missed the plane. 2. I wouldn't have told her. F. If I'd known it was a secret. 3. If he hadn't fallen asleep. C. He wouldn't have crashed the car. 4. We would have called you. H. If we'd had your number. 5. If I'd done all my homework. G. I would have passed the course. 6. John would have brought a present. B. If he'd known it was your birthday. 7. If the teacher hadn't helped him. A. He would have failed the exam. 8. I would have bought that computer. E. If it had been on sale. B. Rewrite the sentences using the third conditional. 1. Maya was late for the meeting. Her car broke down. If Maya's car hadn't broken down, she wouldn't have been late for the meeting. 2. She felt ill, so she didn't come to the concert. She would have come to the concert if she hadn't felt ill. 3. I didn't get the job. I wasn't qualified. If I had been qualified, I would have got the job. 4. They didn't buy the house. They didn't have enough money. They would have bought the house if they had had enough money. 5. We lost the game. Our best player was injured. If our best player hadn't been injured, we wouldn't have lost the game. 6. You didn't tell me you were coming, so I didn't cook a meal. I would have cooked a meal if you had told me you were coming. 5A. Complete the sentences with the correct forms of the verbs in brackets. 1. Machu Picchu would have remained unknown if Hiram Bingham hadn't explored the Andes in Peru. 2. If the I love you virus had been found earlier, 45 million computers wouldn't have crashed in 2000. 3. The development of modern medicine would have been different if Alexander Fleming hadn't discovered penicillin. 4. If John Lennon hadn't met Paul McCartney, they wouldn't have formed the Beatles. 5. The invention of the mobile phone wouldn't have been possible if Alexander Graham Bell hadn't invented the telephone. 6. If the Nestor Film Company hadn't opened film studio there in 1911, Hollywood would have remained a quiet town.
Unit 9. Recording 2. 1.
Machu Picchu would have remained unknown if Hiram Bingham hadn't explored the Andes in Peru.
2.
If the I love you virus had been found earlier, 45 million computers wouldn't have crashed in 2000.
3.
The development of modern medicine would have been different if Alexander Fleming hadn't discovered penicillin.
4.
If John Lennon hadn't met Paul McCartney, they wouldn't have formed the Beatles.
5.
The invention of the mobile phone wouldn't have been possible if Alexander Graham Bell hadn't invented the telephone.
6.
If the Nestor Film Company hadn't opened a film studio there in 1911, Hollywood would have remained a quiet town.
6. Work in pairs. Make a note of 3 things that have happened to you in the last year. Show your partner. Write sentences about your partner's life would have been different if these things hadn't happened. I got a new job. If Marcella hadn't got a new job, she wouldn't have bought her house. Speaking. A. Work in pairs. You are going to describe a big moment in history. Choose an important historical event. If you need help, Student A, turn to page 163. Student B, turn to page 162. Writing a short essay. Learn to structure paragraphs. 8. Read the short essay below and answer the question, what does the writer think would have happened if China had reached the Americas before the Europeans? The writer thinks the Chinese would have seen the incredible size of the land and the riches in the ground, returned with more men, attacked the Native Americans and stolen their land, created new communities, brought their technology and farmed the land and got rich. The new Chinese colony would have grown and grown, and perhaps they would have later spread to other lands. What if Chinese explorers had landed in the Americas first? Once, China led the world in technology. Centuries before Europe, they had printing and gunpowder. They also had the compass, which meant they could navigate without relying on the position of the moon. Furthermore, they were brilliant shipbuilders. This ability to build large, strong ships went hand in hand with their other talent, exploration. In 1405, a Chinese explorer called Zhang He went on a journey. The idea was to create new trade routes for China. On his first trip, he took 28,000 men in 62 ships. Zhang He landed in India and brought home many things that were new to the Chinese: plants, animals, even people. Zhang He made 7 westward journeys. If he had continued to explore, he would probably have reached the Americas before Columbus and the Europeans. However, for political reasons, China stopped exploring. Its leaders believed that China didn't need to trade with other nations, so the country became isolated. Now, let's imagine Zhang He had reached the Americas first. What would have happened? He would have seen the incredible size of the country and the riches in the ground. He probably would have returned with more men and maybe gone to war with Native Americans in order to steal their land. If the Chinese had won, they would have become rich. The new Chinese colony would have grown, and perhaps they would have later spread to other lands. Would China have created the next great empire if Chinese explorers had landed in the Americas first? We will never know. 9. Work in pairs. Put the 6 stages of writing an essay in order. A. Write a second final draft. 5. B. Proofread before you submit your work. Look for errors in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. 6. C. Look carefully at the task title you are given. What do you need to do? Analyze, compare, argue. 1. D. Check that the sections of the first draft are well organized. Think about how you can reorganize any unclear parts. 4. E. Brainstorm ideas. Write down lots of thoughts quickly and don't worry if they are not all good ideas. 2. F. Write a first draft quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect. 3. 10. A. Read the paragraph below, then read the key. Chinese ships were extremely advanced compared to ships in other parts of the world. Firstly, they were larger. The biggest was 400 feet long and weighed 1,500 tons. They were also better designed. Unlike European ships at the time, they had rooms which were watertight. Water could not get inside them. What's more, Chinese ships had better equipment. They all had compasses, which meant the sailors would never get lost. Key: equals linking words, dollar equals topic sentence, plus sign equals supporting sentence 1, degree sign equals supporting sentence 2, asterisk equals supporting sentence 3. B. Complete statements 1 through 3 using the labels from the key. 1. Each paragraph should have a topic sentence that explains the main idea. Often, this is the first sentence. 2. Each paragraph needs several supporting sentences to provide examples that illustrate the main idea. 3. The examples should connect well using linking words. C. Look at the essay in Exercise 8 again. Use the labels in 10A, linking words, topic sentence, etc., to label the first paragraph of the essay. Topic sentence: once, China led the world in technology. Supporting sentence 1: centuries before Europe, they had printing and gunpowder. Supporting sentence 2: they also had the compass, which meant they could navigate without relying on the position of the moon. Supporting sentence 3: furthermore, they were brilliant shipbuilders. Linking words: also, furthermore. 11. A. Read instructions 1 through 4 for a what if essay. 1. Choose an important development in history, an invention, a discovery, or an event. 2. Think about the world without this development. How would life be different? How would people's ideas or actions be different? Brainstorm ideas. 3. Plan and write your essay. 4. When you finish, follow the instructions in the Speakout tip. Speakout tip. 1. Check the big things first. Did you answer the question in the title? Are the paragraphs in the right order? Is there anything missing? 2. Check the little things second. Grammar, spelling, punctuation, missing words. B. Exchange your essay with another student and check each other's work.